Welcome back to Who Versus.
Welcome
In the
back.
immortal words of the great Rob Thomas, it's a hot one. It's very hot.
What do we got on the agenda? Today on the agenda,
You read the agenda.
I've got the
I'm tired of
agenda.
doing it.
You never do it.
I've never done it.
Today we've got James's hot take on libraries. He compared them to Little Mogadishu.
It's going to be spellbinding.
Yeah. We've got a new sponsor. It's a new university located in Maryland that sponsored the shows. We'll get to them today.
Awesome.
We have a prepper update. We've got, this is an important one for anybody with kids. We have movies that adults can watch for adults, but that kids can be in the room and not be scandalized.
Oh, okay.
All right?
Movies for adults that kids can also watch.
That kids could at least be in the room, I would say. They're not going to be... They're not
I
going
live
to
in
be...
a one-room house. So.
You live in a log cabin.
Yeah.
Movies that adults can watch, and you can watch with your kids in the room or on the couch. They will at least be entertained. They won't know what's going on, but there's no violence, there's no sex, there's no nothing. But you can watch it, and it's not like The Incredibles or Toy Story.
Thanks for saying that.
Yep. And then we've got some thoughts on Alligator Alcatraz and what comes to mind when you think of Alligator Alcatraz. And then if there's time at the end, you've got some thoughts on a Christian church that was bombed in Gaza.
Recent developments.
Yeah.
Damascus, Syria.
Yeah, you got some thoughts on that.
Heavy duty.
So where do we want to start? Libraries?
Libraries.
Libraries.
So, here's the thing. I can read. I actually can.
Confirmed.
And I do enjoy it as an escape, right? From how hellish daily life is here in our nation's capital. So, I got inspired. You know what it was? It was the Tucker podcast interview, whatever, of Walter Kern. I'd never heard of this
Hadn't heard of
gentleman.
him either.
I had no idea. When it started out, I was like, I'm going to hate this. Like, this guy's voice, his delivery, like, I'm not going to like this. It ended up being one of my favorite, not just Tucker episodes ever, but podcast episodes ever. This Walter Kern guy's incredible. I don't know what he's written. Do you?
Nope, I never heard of
He
him.
wrote a novel or something that was, like, famous. But anyway, guys, good.
He's like your classic writer who just has things. He's a talker.
Yeah.
He's a great conversationalist.
Right.
And that's why I was...
And he had such a good take on culture, but specifically like the narrative of culture, or he views all of the news or culture or society or whatever through the lens of like, this is a story and there's a protagonist and a beginning, middle, end.
Yeah.
It was super fascinating. His thing was Luigi Mangione. Is he related to the trumpet player Chuck Mangione? Do we know?
We don't know.
Okay.
It's not confirmed.
It's not confirmed, so unconfirmed, possibly breaking news. Anyway, I'm not interested in that story. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't feel like celebrating someone who just gunned down a guy in cold blood. So I'm not that interested in the story, but his take on it was great. Anyway, so in the middle of the thing, he mentions he's rereading 1984. Have you heard of this book?
I've heard of it.
George Orwell wrote it in like 1948, maybe.
The popcorn guy.
Yes. No. Orville. I don't know. Yeah. Stop it. Are you taking a piss? Okay. You trying to stop?
I'm trying to tank the show.
Yes, it sounds like it. So,
I have read 1984, and there was a book muddling around somewhere in my brain in the dormant spaces, which are many, that I kept wanting to get, and I couldn't remember it, and it was Animal Farm. I was going to get Animal Farm, and I thought, like, why buy another friggin' book? Why give Jeff Bezos another, gallon of fuel for his yacht when I can just go to the library? So I rechart my course home. I go to the library, and I don't like what I see. It was disgusting and smelly. And maybe that's a factor of a couple things. One, it is like 1,000,000 degrees right now and 1,000,000% humidity. It's just so hot. So I think bums are going in there to just cool off. But that can't just be it.
It's more than bums.
I'm the only native English speaker in the place, except for the folks who work there. Everyone is just like with bums, with baggage, like everywhere, just like slovenly on the internet. Gosh knows what they're looking at on the internet. It was disgusting and smelly.
Was it just bums?
and threatening. It was hard to tell. Clearly there were people that were like newcomers, as I like to call them, or temporary visitors.
Yeah.
From all walks of life. Every continent and subcontinent, particularly, was represented there. Nobody speaks English. It was just a madhouse. I know a lot of people at my library go there for like tax advice during tax season, or they take a citizenship class, or they take different civic classes. HOA meetings are held in library rooms. It was like kind of cool that it's a community center. And I will say the library, the one good thing it had going for it was really good cold air conditioning, which was nice.
That's why they're there.
That's why they're there, right? And like, can we have cooling centers and air conditioned rooms for bums and the unhomed that aren't also like serve the primary function of books? So anyway, I'm already mad. And I'm like, what have I gotten myself into? I'm coming dressed in business clothes. I have a suit on. So I go over to the lady, and keep in mind I have a law degree, and like to get a JD, at least at my law school, almost said undergrad, you have to do like a whole library component about like how to research in a legal library. So I should know how to do this, right? And we grew up under the Dewey Decimal System. We constantly did this with the cards, the note cards, and all that stuff, the index cards.
And it worked.
I forgot everything I ever knew about how libraries operate. So I just went up to the information lady and I was like, hi. And then I'm like, well, I'm going to sound like a soft brain, smooth brain here. I was like, how do I find books?
Me? Book? You?
I was seriously like, this is square one. Everything I ever learned about libraries flushed out of my brain. And, I blame 9/11 for that. I blame 9/11 for that process. Everything I ever forgot. So she's like, log in to the computer. Okay, so I go to the computer. So there's no longer like the drawer system with Dewey Decimal. It's all computer. So she takes me through about a 10-minute crash course. I know how Google works. This is way less user-friendly than Google. You have to select, like, search your book title or a one-word search or whatever. Then you got to select on the drop-down menu, like, available now, this location, and a physical book. Otherwise, you're getting an audio book or like a digital thing. It's crazy. I just want a freaking book.
Wait, you have to select this location? Like
Yes.
you're going to go to some other
Yeah, so
library?
I'm in Fairfax County. I had to select like available now. So it's literally like it's not on hold or it's not checked out. A physical book, because I don't want an audio book because I'm not a child. Debatable. And then like, what was the other one? Physical book, available now, this location. So I put in Orwell. Animal Farm. That's what I'm looking for. Doesn't exist in the library system. There's one copy. My county probably has 10 million people living in it. It's like the biggest county ever.
Wait, you're saying that they didn't have the copy in the building? It was checked
They
out?
have one copy in the system. Physical copy.
For all of Fairfax County.
That's like at least 1 million people, probably more. One freaking copy of a seminal work of Western literature. One copy, and it's checked out. And no, it's not checked out. It's in a library that I am not kidding you. This county is so big. This is an hour and a half away. It would be a day trip for me to drive to this other branch and get the freaking book.
I'd be curious to see if they had like multiple copies of Michelle Obama's book.
Oh,
Or
tons.
some.
Well, we just got out of
Pride
Pride
Month
Month, so every book in there, like you still see the remnants of just like everything's a friggin' rainbow or a flag. I mean, if you want, what's the most awful human being currently alive? Susie Orman. If you want like someone like
Why are you
that,
picking on her?
I don't know. She's probably great, but it's like if you want Martha Stewart's most recent cookbook or gardening book, there's probably 1 million copies. If you want, so then I'm mad and I'm like, all right, what other Orwell? Maybe I'll just reread 1984 while I'm interlibrary loan getting that. They don't have 1984. They have an audio book. They don't have it anywhere else. There's got to be 100,000 books in this library. It is huge.
That has to be on purpose.
So I'm fired up at this point. I was like, I've got to read something. So in the meantime, I had been another book like in my mental list. I was like, all right, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. Let's fire up some Mark Twain. They don't have any Mark Twain. They don't have The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. They don't have Tom Sawyer. They don't have anything. They have like children's graphic novels of all these.
I was
books.
going to say they probably have the book adaptation of the
Yeah.
Avengers movies, which came from comics, but they don't have real
They
books.
certainly have that. Tons of that stuff. And then so I'm like, at this point, I'm livid. I think that's fair to say.
You already came in pretty hot.
I came in hot. It had been a long day. I'm pretty hot. So I'm like, all right. They literally don't have Mark Twain, who's like the greatest humorist in American history. They don't have his books here. They don't carry those. Not interested in it. So I was like, all right, I'll get something for the kids. All I see around me is kids' books. Right? I'll get something for the kids. And something I had just been talking about with my kids was those Magic Eye. You remember those?
Oh, yeah.
You look at it weird or cross your eyes, and all of a sudden there's a hidden image. Don't have them. They don't have Magic Eye books anymore. I'm looking. All right, I'm gonna flex. I'm gonna be agile. I'm gonna go to Where's Waldo. They don't have Where's Waldo. What is happening?
What books do they have in the library?
A lot, apparently.
Martha
Just
Stewart.
tons. Biographies, like current biographies of absolute losers. I shouldn't have picked on Susie Orman. She's probably fine.
She's a finance lady.
She is sort of like the Midwest Karen haircut
Yeah.
lady that's like, she's not like a Dave Ramsey, but she's more like an investment, more like a Jim Cramer type, CEO, pantsuit type lady. She's probably a lovely lady. I don't know why I picked on her. I'm sorry.
Well, you're creating beef to get some notice for the
This
show.
will get the clicks because
the Susie
you heard
Orman
about
mob
the
will come after us.
Swifties and you've heard about Beyonce's crew. You ain't seen nothing
The Ormans.
compared to the Ormans.
Yeah.
The Ormans. I don't know.
Middle-aged
She
women.
Mormon?
If she was, that'd be awesome. Mormon Orman.
Norman? Or if her father's name was Norman Orman?
Norman Schwarzkopf's Norman Orman.
Norman Orman, and they go to the Mormon Tabernacle. That's a tongue twister. Anyway, so libraries are garbage. I know I said something, this is maybe a little insensitive, but I walk in there and I had probably the same feeling the Ranger Regiment had in Mogadishu in the early 90s. Like there were skinnies with RPGs. It was bad.
What's
Phil.
funny is
it was a bad place.
take that example one step further. I think it's called Operation Gothic Serpent. Was supposed, I think, correct me in the comments
in
if
the
I'm
notes,
wrong.
in the comments.
That was supposed to be, I think, like an hour. The whole thing was supposed to take an hour.
Yeah.
Supposed to be a very simple mission, in and out, do what you got to do. That's what you were dealing
Yeah.
with. It was supposed to be very simple. Get Animal Farm, look it up, get it, and
Get
leave.
home at a reasonable time for dinner.
Turns out, you learned a lot of valuable lessons. Just
I
like
end
they did.
up running for a tracked vehicle run by the Pakistani army trying to get to the soccer field. It's Black Hawk Down.
Okay.
You remember that?
No.
You don't remember
No.
that? They end up running out. Josh Hartnett, he was there.
He was there. Josh Hartnett was in Mogadishu.
Yeah.
What is that? This seems to me like, we always say decline is a choice. This seems to me like it's not incompetence, it's a choice, right? They have to choose what books do we have here. In 1984, Animal Farm, Mark Twain. It is a choice not to have these books or multiple copies of them
Yes.
at least on hand.
It is a choice. I think
I think that's the sneaky, I think I'm using this word right, perniciousness
yeah.
of trying to change the culture to forget about these classic
Yes,
things.
they don't want you to remember anything that didn't happen 30
They want you to read
seconds
books
ago.
about Harvey Milk.
Yeah, they want to
They don't
name
want-
ships after him.
Yeah, which we just unnamed, by the way.
which is strong.
Um,
Now, I will say, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, one of the characters' names has an anachronistic name, right? So I kind of understand the sensitivity of that because that's a word that I don't want to introduce in my family. But it is what it is, right? I'm not reading this to my kids. I'm reading this to myself. I know the word. I know not to use the word, but I don't want to throw that word out there with the kids. So I understand the sensitivity around that. But at the same time, it was written in a time and place where that word was like powerful and used to keep people down.
time and place.
The word I'm talking about is wooden raft. No, it's not the wooden raft in Huckleberry Finn.
I don't know. That's what I make of it. It's
So
a choice.
libraries are public spaces, and I don't want to be part of a country club library or something like that. I just want to go to a public space that is funded by my tax dollars that is like recognizably American. It doesn't seem that hard.
My town just built a new library. One town over just built a new library. Why are they still building these? Why?
They need them.
What is the purpose? This is my theory of libraries. I think So you and I know this from hosting a lot of book launch events at our office.
Yeah.
A lot of times these authors will say, hey, I'll come do this book event for free, or I will do this book event. Part of the deal we strike is, will you buy
50 copies,
50
100
copies of my book, 100 copies of my book, to help goose the numbers
Yeah.
of their sales on Amazon.
part of the promo tour.
Part of the promo tour, and it's baked into the deal. Is
Yeah.
you will buy this, it'll goose my numbers up, it'll look good.
I'll sign some. It's good
I'll
for
sign
you.
some,
It's
right.
good for me. Yeah.
I think libraries are, this is your point about not having the correct books and having all the wrong books. I think it's a money laundering operation for
100%.
leftist books.
110%, if that were even possible. It's not.
I mean,
But
you
if
have,
it
what'd
were,
you say, 100,000 books in this library?
Yeah, I've
Many of
just
them
a
are
rough
probably,
guess.
I would say, 25% or more than 30 years old.
Yeah.
But the rest are probably pretty recent, and they
Yeah,
cycle
they
them
just
in and
cycle
out.
them through.
All these authors, you have to think, this is happening in libraries all over the country. If they have 3-4 copies of each book, and I don't know how many libraries in the country, 1,000, 5,000,
Way more than that.
10,000 libraries?
Oh, got to be more than that.
Really? You think
Oh,
there's
yeah.
more than 10,000 libraries in the country?
I mean, you know,
I believe it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Okay, so 10,000 libraries, if they all bought 3 copies of
Yeah.
some book, that's pretty
Some
decent.
loser's memoirs like
Yeah.
David Hogg.
Yeah.
That guy'll write a book. It'll be a New York Times bestseller and an Amazon thing just because these crappy, awful libraries are buying copies to juice his numbers.
Yeah.
You're right. That is what's going on. The one good thing about this library is they're in their mind getting rid of the old like stuff that nobody checks out anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on the second floor. There's an area where they sell old books for 25 cents, 50 cents, maybe $1. The best books are there. So I go in, I spend $5, and I get like 5 of the best books of all time.
So a couple
They're
years
selling the old crap.
it's funny you say that. A couple years ago, when we lived in the city, my wife says to me, hey, our local library is having a book sale. They're selling all these books that they're trying to
Yeah.
get rid of. And I go, why would I want to buy a book nobody wanted for free?
Yeah. No, it's not that it's the type of book that you and I want. It's the type of book they, library science majors, don't want people to
Right.
read. It's the hidden knowledge, it's a secret flame that they don't want us to read. They don't want us to read Huckleberry Finn. They don't want us to read anything like that. Any foundational, seminal text of Western civilization, they want
I bet
out
we're getting rid of
so that David Hogg and Michelle Obama can write their crap and they can shove it in our ears or
Yeah.
brains.
brains.
Anyway, that's libraries.
It's
They're
just libraries are money
they're
laundering schemes.
disgusting.
I would. I almost want to
We're
pay
versus-
somebody. We're versus libraries.
versus
I want to pay somebody to go to a library and do one of those like ticket or those counters to see how many people actually go in every day that are not bums and are not just
Using the internet.
third worlders using the internet like it's an internet cafe from 1994.
Yeah, well, what you want is the clicker for the people going in, and then you want a clicker on a separate hand of books going out. So they've actually checked out a book.
Yeah.
And DVDs and CDs and audiobooks don't count.
When you went to the library, did they still have newspapers on those wooden reeds?
I think so.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, that's always kind of
I
fun.
used to go to the library a lot when I was a kid.
When I was a kid, it was great, and it was great air conditioning. In
Well,
the
all this
summer, we
is-
would always go to the library.
It's like they're just building these new libraries. It's just a make work project.
Yeah.
Right. My town did not need one. They built it across the street from a Checkers hamburger spot.
Yeah.
Nobody goes in there. It's brand new. It's not.
Yeah,
well,
it is a money laundering. You're right. That's a giveaway to the
It's
the
just
contractor.
it's federal dollars.
Yeah.
That they're using. We got to
Federal dollars are going towards libraries.
I guarantee it.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Somehow it's being washed in. Like you and I dealt with this all the time.
Yeah.
Federal construction is probably what was the big construction thing Obama did? Like shovel ready projects they call them for the
that was
bailout.
just a big union giveaway,
Yeah.
just cash in the pockets.
We didn't need any of this.
We didn't get anything for it. Our bridges are falling.
Oh my gosh. I don't know what to do about that.
All right, that's libraries.
Should we go to our first sponsor?
Sure. What is this?
We have a new sponsor.
This is news to me, folks.
We have a
Breaking
new
news.
sponsor. We're going to do a couple different hits today for our new sponsor. The sponsor is called the Foreign Affairs and International Legacy Society, acronym FAILS. So let me just read the spot that they sent me to read live on air.
Okay.
The School of Foreign Affairs and International Legacy Society is located within the sleepy town of McLean, Virginia, with a satellite office in Bethesda, Maryland. The FAILS School was born out of a simple question. How can we turn America's dovish diplomatic institutions into paramilitary organizations? Interesting that they would send that. To answer this question, leaders from the nation's leading institutions met in Palm Springs, California to set up a new path for America's diplomatic corps. Leaders from Raytheon, Northrop Grumman, Picatinny Arsenal, 3M, the LGBTQ plus community, Drag Time Story Hour readers, public school principals, Starbucks baristas, and George Soros' kid spent a week in the dry heat of the West Coast. Their answer was the Foreign Affairs and International Legacy Society School.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a new school out there.
Probably need some librarians there, too.
Probably need a few they'll need books. So we'll be reading those spots throughout the show today.
Okay, good.
That'll
good
be
to have a
interesting.
sponsor. Interesting.
Yeah, I
Thank
like
you.
that. Okay.
What do you think? Prepper update?
I don't know what is this prepper update?
Okay, so you may recall at the beginning of the summer, just an episode or two ago, at the beginning of the summer, I had 37 hours without power.
Yeah.
Check it out. And I just went wacky and spent thousands upon thousands of hard-earned dollars on gear. And my wife is very upset about it. She did not realize that until she watched the episode where I talk about how much money I spent. And she was like, well, I could have spent that on stuff for the kids. I'm like, what good are kids stuff if we're all dead?
Our checks are bouncing at the grocery store and you're
From a
buying
ba-
generators. And you said, why are you writing checks?
Yeah, I said, how did you get a hold of my checkbook? Who let you out?
Your $50 a week is ample.
We do the envelopes full of cash in my house. No, I didn't really spend that many, in case my wife was watching. So anyway, there's a dearth, if you will, there's a good word, of information for the folks who survived Hurricane Helene. Mm-hmm. These guys that were, rural North Carolina, mountain-type people, they're pretty self-reliant, but they have really fascinating lessons on what they've learned. Right. And so I want to learn from their experience. And so I bought basically everything I could afford, just everything. Just Amazon, give me a list of things preppers need. Give it all to me ASAP, 2-day shipping. So I bought all this stuff. I haven't even fired up my generator yet, my gas generator. I've had it for a month and a half now, maybe 2 months. Just assembled it, haven't fired it up. What are you looking at? Why are you doing that?
Don't worry about it.
Okay. I don't like it.
Adela's doing things in the
I
background.
keep thinking somebody's sneaking up on me.
Somebody was. They went away.
So anyway, they were like, fire up your generator, because all of them had generators in their garage for 5 to 10 years and had never once turned them on. So they're like, fire the generator, make sure it's working, change the oil on it, make sure you have good gas in there. Gasoline storage is difficult.
Yeah, it is
turns
hard.
out, and you need a lot of it. So there was that. Food. So I bought like some package of Mountain House stuff and some ReadyWise crap from Costco and cans and stuff. And they were basically like, yeah, that stuff's great and it will keep you alive. You don't want to eat it more than one day in a row, or maybe even one meal in a row. And the same thing with rice and beans. They're like, have all that stuff, the rice and beans, it'll keep you alive, but have like seasonings and salt and jars and cans of fruits and potted meats and stuff that you can mix in to make it more palatable, more exciting, more variety, and honestly more nutritious. And you brought up a good point. The ReadyWise and the Mountain House, like they're cheap carbs, but they're cheap calories, and that's what I want in an emergency.
I want to amend your previous statement.
Okay.
I am specifically talking about, and this is no shade on people who buy ReadyWise. Do what you got to do.
Yeah, I just did it.
I would not buy ReadyWise. I would instead buy something like Mountain House, or what's the other one? Fuel.
I don't know that one.
Here's the thing. ReadyWise will keep you alive.
Yeah.
Like, do what you got to do. They're not as good. They're not as tasty. They're not as nutritious as
Mountain House.
as Mountain House or the other stuff. They're way more expensive. That's the problem. Is the Mountain House stuff? It is delicious.
It is almost 2 to 1.
Yeah, it really. I
Per
think
calorie,
for like a
maybe
little, like 1
3 to 1.
serving of a Mountain House in their in one of their packets, it's like $12 for a meal. Whereas like
Is
a
that
Ready,
for one person?
that's for one person.
You could eat out for.
Yeah. Whereas like a ReadyWise, you can get a bucket of like the rice and the chicken Alfredo.
Like 90 servings for $100 or something.
But again, it's mostly carbohydrates. There's very little protein,
Yeah.
and it's. I think I've looked at the back labels of these because I've contrasted and compared. It's very, very salty.
Yeah.
So
I like.
In an emergency, you kind of you do like your salt. You kind of don't care, but I would just say, no shade on ReadyWise, but I would rather go Mountain House.
So I went down. I was like, hey, what are all the lessons they learned? So having a chainsaw, Having your chainsaw ready to go. My chainsaw is out of commission right now, but they're like, have a chainsaw ready to rock with a backup chain. My original chain broke, so I have my backup chain on. They're like, when you're cutting through trees to get out of your neighborhood or help your neighbors, like those chains go fast, and you're not going to sit for an hour and sharpen it. Just swap the chain.
One of the guys, and you sent me the video, he said he was cutting trees for 8 hours straight.
I believe that.
That will do damage. That'll
That was
wear
like
the
my
chain.
neighborhood when my 37 hours. Those trees were too big, unfortunately, for like a traditional guy. Like most people have a 16 to 20 inch bar. These trees were so big and old, and it's that way in rural North Carolina in the mountains that you need a 36 inch bar, like you're a lumberjack in Alaska, like professionals, and then you need front end loaders to like move these things.
So I have a personal experience with that. We have a friend of ours on this listserv. He said, hey, some guys just cut down a big oak tree in my backyard, and we've got these rounds. They're free to take if you can cut them.
2.5 feet across.
Yeah, he goes, I'm going to get them all later in the day, but if anybody who wants
You're
to
not
come.
splitting that.
And in my ignorance, being where I'm from, we don't have those giant trees. We have palm trees. And I said, well, just grab my axe, and I'll go down there with a pair of gloves. And,
Yeah.
and they were already in rounds, so I figured this will be easy. It was one of the most physically demanding things I've ever done.
A wet log, like that's still filled with its life.
I could, but I'm talking like half an hour just to split it in half. Then you got to split it in half again, and again, because you can't lift these things. They're hundreds of pounds. So chainsaw, crucial.
Yes, chainsaw is crucial, or a limbing saw, or something to get like at least some of the smaller limbs out of your way, right? So, I mean, even if it's just a home, like one of those electric battery operated, like a DeWalt or one of those type of things, just have one of those ready to go. Now, mine's like a 0.5 horsepower 2-stroke engine, but like, again, out of commission.
Let me ask you about the generator, because this sort of like threw me a little bit. You said you have to start it. What did you say? You said when you get a new
break
generator,
it in.
break it in. There's a break-in
Seat
period.
those pistons, just like a new car.
Do you?
Yeah, they should be telling you that at the dealership.
I don't know, but
You have to break in new engines. There's a break-in period of a couple thousand miles. So there's like shavings and metal crap in the cylinders. Those pistons are going up and down, or like if it's a V like that, they're burnishing that and smoothing it out, just like breaking in a barrel on a new rifle or anything. Like that action is smoothing the surfaces, and there is, for lack of a better word, detritus that comes off of it, metal shavings and all this other stuff, and the oil catches that. Well, you don't want to run that oil back through the engine and have too much wear. So they recommend on mine 5 hours, run it consistently for 5 hours at all these different amperages, so you get like the different speeds. And you're supposed to do this with your new cars too. All speeds, all RPMs to get the full stroke of the piston, for lack of a better term, I guess is the way you would say it, the full action of the piston. And then you got to change that oil. So run it for 5 hours, dump the oil, and completely start.
So we talked a few weeks ago about FUDs and FUD lore.
Yeah.
FUD lore basically comes down to things that I call social facts. Is it a social fact you have to do this? Because I've never heard of this before, like on a new car.
Yeah, you do. Definitely do.
You have to do this.
Yes, you should be breaking engines in. Yeah, and so like revving the engine sometimes they're like, hey, for the first 500 miles after you go off the dealership, like keep it under 55 and under.
Never heard that.
Yeah, you should be doing this. You got to do that on small engines too, apparently. Maybe it's just 4-stroke engines, because I've never heard this on 2-stroke engines.
I think
like a weed whacker,
Yeah.
or like a chainsaw or something. But on 4-stroke engines, you need to break them in.
I would believe you on the generator. I'll grant you that. I would say on modern cars, you probably don't have to do that. They're all, as Trump would say, it's all computer. They're all computers now.
There's still physical component. Like you probably don't have to do it on a Tesla.
Yeah,
But you
definitely
need to
not
do it
Tesla.
on like a traditional combustion engine. Okay. You do. You got to change that Earl. Got to change that Earl.
If anybody knows
Write
about
in the
how to
comments.
break in a car,
DM Phil. His name.
don't do it.
Never mind.
All right.
So anyway, still prepper stuff. So I got an emergency, like, hey, I just need a battery bank. What was the company I was talking about? Jackery?
Jackery.
So I got a small Jackery that does like small electronics and computers and stuff that'll keep your comms going. Then I got a big one also, because Prime had an incredible deal. So I got 1,000 watt. I can run the fridge on that thing. I could charge it on the generator outside, no carbon monoxide worry. Get that thing fully charged, bring it into the kitchen and run the refrigerator.
I gotta give it to Jackery. Like they have the kind of I think people would see them as the Nike shoes of generators. Just plug and play.
Yes.
I don't know what they've done relative to other generators and inverters, but they just have like the best name.
Plug and play. It's sort of it's the
You can't ruin it. You can't mess it up.
No, you can't mess it up. And all the components, like, yeah, they're unique. They're probably not like cross brand, but like you get the 100-watt solar panel, the 200-watt solar panel. You just plug it all in and build your own little like generation station.
I'll ask the editors to bleep out the answer to this question, but all in, because you probably don't want your wife to know. All in, what did you spend?
That much. No, I don't know. Of all the preps?
All the preps you bought post your 37 hours.
Maybe grand.
Okay, bleep that out.
100 between the food. Buckets. That was the other thing we learned.
Oh, yeah.
Buckets.
Tell us about the buckets.
The guy was like, you cannot have enough buckets. And I had heard that before. I was watching this show called Port Protection about this isolated like fishing village in Alaska, and these guys like forage for stuff that washed up on the shore. When they hit a bucket, they hit pay dirt. They're like, bucket, not. He's like, you can never have enough buckets. And what they were saying was, in Helene, their water system was out. No clean drinking water. And that's the thing that'll kill you the fastest.
Yeah.
Is no water. And they're like, neighbor went down to a creek, pumped a bunch of water into one of those big tanks. Have you ever seen those tanks with like the metal?
Oh, yeah.
Gritter? I don't know. They got a name. I can't think of it.
There is,
The guy's like, okay, thanks for doing that, neighbor, with your awesome diesel truck. How do I get that into my house? No buckets. And there was not enough buckets. Bucket brigading. So I got on Amazon for cheap, maybe $20. I got like 5 food grade buckets with lids. But every time I go to Home Depot from now on, I'm getting a 5-gallon bucket. And I'm just going to have in my shed buckets stacked floor to ceiling. Because they're like, you can use them for, well, not cooking, but doing dishes in them, carrying water from
Have
creeks.
different pots of water, cleanliness.
All that different stuff. The 3-bucket method where it's like hot soapy, clean water, water with bleach, and you're done. You can use them for toilets.
Yep.
And then you use that bucket for that, and you just pour bleach in it, and you're like, deal with that later. Right? You can scoop up dirty water to use to flush your toilets with. The guy's like, that'll kill you faster than almost anything is dysentery if you're not flushing your toilets.
Yeah.
And
also,
so
it's
he's
just
like,
the comfort
buckets.
factor of like a smell.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be burying your waste.
It's friggin' hot.
Yeah.
And you don't want that smell in your house when it's hot. So buckets. I got food grade buckets because I saw them on cheap, but I'm just going to keep getting bucket upon bucket upon bucket.
Is there there's things I buy every time I go to Home Depot. One of them is duct tape.
Yeah.
Duct tape is one of those things I feel like you can't have enough of.
Correct.
I always buy different types of screws or nails.
Mm-hmm.
Not like I don't buy 1,000 of them, but I'll buy $20 worth.
That's
I
good.
think it's good to have those things on hand.
That and like every time you go to the grocery store and you want a can of green beans for a green bean casserole or something, buy 2 cans, put one away.
See all this stuff.
Have a pantry. Food pantry was everything.
Yeah.
Because like I said, like we didn't get into Mountain House meals, ReadyWise, rice and beans, but like eventually you might get into that, and you want to mix in like even canned vegetables, a jar of peaches, something.
The sad thing about the folks in North Carolina, this is kind of this is going to a dark place. It seems pretty clear that the federal government just intentionally ignored these people.
Because they were Trump voters.
Because they're Trump voters.
It was intentional,
So,
like you said.
It's become popular to say no one is coming to save you. That's 100% right.
But these people were,
I don't think it's a
in
dark
general, to generalize, they're prepared because they're mountain people, and they're just good, hardy Scots-Irish stock mountain people, and so they're like very survivable. And even they had a bunch of issues because of the water, and like how rugged the terrain is. It's so easy to create choke points with mudslides and bridges going out. You're just trapped. This is not in the Midwest where you literally just place a grid down and it's like north, south, east, west. You can go to Denver that way and Chicago that way. It's like there's what it's even like in Virginia around these windy trails. Like
I saw a video just this morning of the flooding in Texas. It was a time-lapse video. So it was even more eerie because the water isn't slowly approaching. It's like
rapidly
a tidal wave. But it's like one every 50 frames and they move it forward. It was horrific. Yeah. I thought it was AI. I really did. I had
it
to
probably wasn't even time lapse.
Sources.
It was probably not sped up. I mean, it was real time, 30 seconds. It's gone 2 feet.
But that's just, to the earlier point, no one's coming to save you.
A foot of water where it doesn't belong, I'm sure there's a calculation here, but is like a foot of water is catastrophic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 2 feet of water, 5 feet of water above where it belongs will destroy everything.
So do you feel more confident now?
So much more. So much more. And just writing down an action plan and having like a laminated card and just having like my power out box is now, it's a tub from, that's the other thing. Get a lot of tubs. Find them on sale from Home Depot.
Those yellow top, black tubs.
Yellow top,
great.
black. They stack.
A bunch.
They have like points for tie downs if you have to put them on a trailer or something. I just got 2 more at Home Depot.
Yeah.
They were on sale. Red, white, and blue doorbuster. Anyway, so
Sponsored by Home
having
Depot.
that and then just like taping down like an action plan everywhere. Having your documents ready to go, like grab and go, birth certificates, passports, social security numbers. Cash. That was the other thing they talk about. I hate having a lot of cash
Because it just devalues.
because it just devalues, right? They're
Thank
like,
you, Jerome Powell.
yeah, the guys, but he was like, look, I waited in line for 2 hours at a gas pump and the credit card machines don't work. So many people waited for 2 hours, got their turn at the pump for their 20 gallons, couldn't get it because they couldn't pay because they only had cash. I mean, they only had cards.
Yeah.
And so he's like, cash in small bills, 20s and below. He's like, they won't have change for a bunch of hundreds.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it's like ATMs, do they give you hundreds?
They give you which I haven't used an ATM in years.
I know, I
You know
don't
when the
do
last
it
time
either.
was I used an ATM? You ready for this?
Your car got towed and you had to get it out.
January 6th, 2020.
Really?
Oh yeah, I
You
was
hit the ATM.
I was
just
at
in
the
case.
office, and our office is basically across the street from where all that happened. And I
Were
said,
you at this office?
Yes.
Okay.
And I said, things are getting interesting. So there's a bank across the street. Pop over to the ATM. I got like $500 or whatever.
I think there's a daily limit on my card so that I don't get like a gun to
Right.
my noodle and like give me your entire checking account.
Yeah,
But like that's a good point. Like it probably spits out at the minimum 20s.
it is 20s at least.
And maybe it's hundreds. Like those are not that great. You got to break those down.
You go to a lot of stores where they just won't accept hundreds because
No.
of the counterfeit. Yeah, I'm glad you're in a better spot now.
Anyway, that's
the one thing I got to do is get the generator, but I have plenty of buckets because I'm going to build myself out a natural water filtration system.
Yeah.
So like at the top, it'll be one medium that's thicker, and then a thinner medium, and then thinner and thinner. And at the bottom is going to be a spigot. You have to, it's sort of a whole thing. You have to cut holes in the bottom, and it goes down.
Yeah.
So I've got all these buckets on hand until I get
Rain
that project.
barrels. That's another thing they talk about. My county has like a rain barrel class. It's like $50, but you like go spend a couple hours and they talk you through it and you build it right there. So I got to do that.
That's great.
Buckets.
Got to do that.
Still need to work on water sanitation or filtration. That's still a
That's
thing.
easy. Well, not easy, but get yourself a couple of those Life Straws, some
I have
Sawyers.
those, but like, how am I going to do large volumes of water that way? Can't.
What do you mean?
Like, I want to do 5 gallons at a time. I'm not
Gravity
gonna,
filter.
Okay.
So I got one of those. Sawyer sells them. You can go on Amazon. They're so cheap. One of those Sawyer. Well, that's the one I have. I'm sure other companies
Sometimes you
make them.
squeeze them through.
Yeah.
It's like dirty water bag, gravity, Sawyer into clean water.
Yeah.
bag.
And so they have, they sell you the whole kit. I want to say it's like $25 or $30. And it's made to be hung. And then it goes right down into, whatever receptacle you want. It's great.
Just like me. Okay.
I missed that.
Okay.
Anyway, highly
All right,
recommend
what's
that.
next?
We're going to stop again for our sponsor.
Oh, fails.
Yeah, the Fails University. The new university here in the DMV
Is this
area.
a for profit?
Well, yeah, absolutely. You got to make, I mean, what's the point of
Anything.
invading third world countries if you can't make a buck, right?
It's true.
Um,
Some would say that is the point.
that is the point.
and
all right.
we're back.
And we're back. A little bit of
Our
technical
sponsor.
difficulty. Our sponsor, they deserve the best from us, and we're going to give it to them.
Give 'em a good read.
We are back at our sponsor, the Foreign Affairs and International Legacy Society. Diplomacy is as much an art as it is a science. At the Fails School, we will teach you the same successful diplomatic tactics used by diplomats in the Austria-Hungary and Serbia region before World War I, or between Iraq and Kuwait, and circa 1990. Those were huge successes.
That was great.
Great successes.
Landmark.
We also have an advanced course for anyone who graduated from an Ivy League university. For these students, we can teach you the George Costanza method of international relations. We teach you to take the totality of your college education, the opinions of all your friends, and your gut instinct, and do the exact opposite. You'll be right more often than wrong.
Yeah.
Fails University.
Fails University. Thank you. Love their money.
We do. Thank you.
Okay,
Great
so
sponsor.
what? I think we're probably on movies.
We're on
This is
movies.
yours. Take it away.
This is ours.
I'm gonna tune out for a bit.
You gonna check some emails?
Yeah.
All right. So this came from a previous conversation you and I had. Are you actually tuning out?
Yeah, I told you I was.
Okay.
right.
So we both have kids. I am tired of, well, not tired. I don't do it that often. I don't want to watch Toy Story because it's a safe movie I can watch with my kids. I don't watch it over and over. I can only watch Disney movies. I want to watch a movie for an adult that my wife can be in the room, but we don't have to worry about covering our kids' eyes every 2 seconds.
Eyes or ears?
Eyes or ears. So I will say I am more okay with a little bit of violence than I am with bad language.
Yeah.
Or obviously nudity.
Yeah.
So here's a series of movies, and these are up for debate. Adults can watch with their kids in the room or even with their kids on the couch and not have to worry too much about scandalizing their children.
Sure. This is practical.
This is practical stuff. The Ocean's 11 series.
Okay.
That's the one with George Clooney, not the one with
The
what's her
Rat Pack.
face. Not the one with the new ones they did with all the ladies. I haven't
Have a
seen
new
those.
one with women?
It's garbage.
I'm sure it was a.
So those movies are great.
blockbuster.
A lot of fun. It's upbeat, colorful. They love it. Indiana Jones.
Okay.
Indiana
well,
Jones.
maybe not Temple of Doom. Calamate.
See, even that, I think
freaky.
it is freaky.
It's so
but
many
it's kind
nightmares.
of cartoonish in a way. So I'm okay with
To
Indiana
our
Jones.
eyes, yes.
This is an obvious one. The original Star Wars,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
James Bond. Now that one's got a little bit of, seduction of
It's less seduction and more assault. But yeah.
I'm okay
sure
with
about
James
that one.
Bond. I'm
Throw
okay
the-
with James Bond.
Throw the flag on that one, but
Rocky.
okay.
Notwithstanding that Apollo Creed dies, I think it's in a way that
That
is
is part of life.
perfectly fine.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a good message. If you're into this sort of thing, the new Godzilla and Kong movies,
Okay.
unless you're a huge Bryan Cranston fan and you don't want to see him die, spoiler alert, he dies.
He's in them.
Yeah,
I'm
for like
not
2
a
seconds,
Bryan
he's in them.
Cranston fan,
The
so.
new Godzilla movies they put out, I think, are great for.
Okay.
They're movies adults can watch, but kids
What
won't
about
be
the
scandalized.
old King Kong one with Naomi Watts?
I mean, that's in the conversation too.
Black.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine. It's a movie for adults. I originally had in here the new Marvel movies. I took it off.
Those are children's movies that adults can watch.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That doesn't make this. Back to the Future,
Yes.
classic. It might be a perfect movie. This is a movie I don't think you knew about. I just watched it. Basic. It's got John Travolta and Samuel Jackson.
Okay.
It's sort of a whodunit sort of thing. It's very intense, but there's no blood, there's no sexual scenes, and it's not even that great of a movie, but it's one of those things where it has like a twist at the end.
I like that.
I like that.
Okay.
You brought this one up yesterday, Enemy of the State.
Yeah.
Gene Hamilton,
Gene
Will
Hackman.
Smith. What'd I say?
Hamilton.
Also a great guy.
I don't know who that is, but
You know Gene Hamilton?
no. Gene Hackman. May he rest in
From
peace.
AFL.
Oh yeah. I thought you meant an actor.
No, yeah. So Gene Hackman and Will Smith.
Yeah.
Great movie. Adults can watch it. Kids won't get it, but they can be in the room and they'll like the action. I'll just read down this list. Murder at 1600 with Wesley Snipes.
Any Wesley Snipes, really.
Any Wesley Snipes movie. But specifically this one. Just cover their eyes in the first 5 minutes because there's a dead body, but after that, it's just awesome. Field of Dreams.
Yes. Classic.
This one is on the bubble. JFK. Oliver Stone's JFK.
No.
No? What's wrong with that one?
Caution flag.
Why?
I don't know. It's Oliver Stone. It's got language, guaranteed. Bunch of language. I'm sure there's the dude's head. No.
You don't really see it though.
That's true.
I will
Back
say
and to the right or back and to the left, you see it over and over and over. You're out of your mind.
on the JFK on the language thing, everybody speaks in like a Louisiana accent, so you can't understand a
'cause
damn
he's
thing they're
doing like
saying.
the Jack Ruby thing. Like,
Uh,
isn't John Goodman like one of the
John
Louisiana
Goodman,
guys
I think
down
he-
there? Is it John Goodman?
John Candy.
John
Candy's in there, yeah.
That's who
He
it-
plays a great like
a Southern lawyer. Or
Yeah.
something. It's like, oh, wow, I don't
what do they call
represent
it?
on
Not a
Jack
beatnik.
Ruby.
He's like a beatnik in a way. Okay, I'll just go down. 13 Days, another Kevin Costner movie. It's about the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Oh, I thought
Great
that was
movie.
the Benghazi one.
That's 13 hours. I'm gonna get some heat over this one. The more recent Fast and Furious movies.
Sure.
Not the early ones had a little bit of language and they're kind of dumb. They're all dumb. But the more recent ones, it's just explosions and cars driving.
Love it.
There's very little bad language.
Love it.
Here's a great one from the mid-'90s I love, The Peacemaker. George Clooney and Nicole Kidman.
Okay.
There's very little bad language, if any, and it's about hunting nukes and dissolution of the Soviet Empire.
Classic fodder for a children's movie.
Kids love it. And it's a great movie adults can watch. You disagree with this one, Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I think Cliffhanger is perfectly
I
fine.
saw that mistakenly as a very young lad and had a lot of nightmares.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there any, I don't think there's any blood.
So,
Is there any
just
blood?
murdering everybody. Just a lot of murder.
At
Yeah,
most,
there's
you-
tons of.
People fall off mountains, but you don't see
Well,
anything.
that's not good either. But yeah, it was. No, that's a terrible one.
Not a movie I like, but one that adults can watch with kids in the room, The Monuments Men.
Okay.
I don't,
George Clooney thing going on here.
it
We
may
have
be.
3 George Clooney
do.
movies on here.
Maybe that's his thing, right? That's why he's popular, because he's not making gory movies people can't watch.
Oh, brother, where art thou?
That's a great one.
Add that to the list.
We're adding it to the list. Here's kind of a weird one. Another George Clooney movie. Michael Clayton.
There's something weird going on.
There's something
here.
weird. I got a George Clooney thing going on. Again, it's just a legal procedural sort of thing. He's an interesting character. He kind of plays like a bagman.
He's like a fixer, isn't he?
He's a fixer for a law firm.
That would be a good job. Clean up messes.
Nearly kills him.
Oh, really?
Spoiler alert. I did say nearly. Argo with Ben Affleck.
Okay.
Argo.
Yeah, about the Iranian embassy.
Little bit
or
of
the
language.
American embassy in Tehran.
Little bit of language, but there's no blood.
Okay.
No guts. There's no sexuality. You made me think of, you brought this up, disaster movies.
Yes.
What did you say? You said 2012.
I just saw that one. It was pretty good, actually. I like, Deep Impact. I don't know what the
Yeah,
other
those
one-
are all great
like
movies.
The,
adults
all,
can
the
watch.
volcano ones, Dante's Peak, whatever. Disaster movies.
Dante's
are
Peak
great.
with Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan.
It's a great one.
All disaster movies I
Independence
like.
Day.
Independence Day. I like them all. They're
Um,
usually fine.
but you wouldn't show them The Patriot, would you? Would you? I would show my kids The
Too
Patriot.
violent.
You think so?
The dude's head comes off with a cannonball.
Just the one time.
The legs are flying everywhere.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. And this is the end of my list. I think it's another 90s one. The Anthony Hopkins, Antonio Banderas, Catherine Zeta-Jones,
Zorro. Yes.
They did like 2 or 3 of them. Great movie.
Yeah,
Adults
Princess
can watch it.
Bride.
Princess Bride. We just watched that the other day.
Yeah, so did
That's the
we.
list. I think, like we always worry that there's no movies out there we can watch with the kids.
There's
But
plenty.
There's plenty. They're
Really?
out there.
Oh, it was a Disney.
And most of them were made, frankly, pre 9/11, which changed everything for the worse.
Golden age of movies. All right. Well, I'm out of here.
You're out of here.
I'm just kidding.
You want to read this next spot from our sponsor?
No.
I've been doing a lot of it.
All right, I'll read it.
Go ahead and read it.
Which one is it?
Number 3.
Oh boy, this is probably a bad one that's going to get me in trouble.
It's not.
I saw the first word. I'm not interested.
What's wrong with that?
Okay, let's read it. These are not my words. These are from the sponsor. Female education is fundamental to a functioning society. Just look at America. We have very high female education rates, and we're doing great. This is why the School for Foreign Affairs and International Legacy Society fails. Will teach young women how to empower themselves through lessons such as how to be a computer programmer while there's a civil war going on. From Sharia law to Shania Twain, the evolution of women in the 21st century. Being a suicide bomber isn't a suicide pact. How to negotiate salary in a male-dominated workplace. Keeping your cool in high-stress events. How to keep a level head during your bedding. That's funny. That is very funny. And let's just go to the next ad.
You want to
And
read
then
the
we'll
next
just
one?
end it. We'll just end
Well,
it.
we got Alligator Alcatraz.
Okay.
You want to go to read the next ad? Go ahead.
Next, hey, thanks to a generous donation from the Open Society Foundation, the Fales University was able to open the RuPaul School of Diplomacy, where we will teach new diplomats everything they need to know about effective diplomacy. Well, there's another page. Protocol for raising the trans flag outside your embassy. Remember the ABCs of effective diplomacy. Always respect your host company. Be willing to challenge the deeply held cultural and religious beliefs of everyone in your host country. Constantly remind everyone in your host country that their views are outdated and misogynistic. Learn about our Working Farms to Working Girls program. This actually was a thing in Virginia. Farming was historically has historically been work favored by men. The WFWG program takes girls from small family-run farms and puts them on a track to be a CEO for the emerging tech sector of their third world country. After completion of our diplomacy program, not only will you know how to engage foreign leaders and speak a new language, but you'll also be a certified drone operator. Fales University.
Fales University, our
And,
newest sponsor.
Soros Foundation, thank you for the grant.
Open Society, Soros' kid, the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think these guys are going to be with us for a while. I really do.
I feel something big here.
I do feel something big. All right, where are we at now?
Alligator Alley.
Alligator Alcatraz.
Alcatraz.
Now, you told me,
I did not know what this is. I missed this in the news cycle.
so it was only absolutely everywhere constantly for 3 straight weeks, which goes to show you know how to unplug.
Yeah.
And I respect that about you.
Yeah.
I can't unplug. You know how to, because you're buying generators and you're buying
Well, here's
rice.
the thing. You don't have to worry about unplugging if you don't plug in.
That's been the key to your success.
Mm-hmm.
We just put some thoughts together.
Sure.
I just put some thoughts together.
Is
I don't
this
know.
what do I think of when I hear Alligator Alcatraz?
This is what I think of when I think Alligator Alcatraz. It's probably a little too obvious, but I think of a prison for alligators.
Yeah, that's the first
The
thing.
misbehaving, the ones who can't be trained, the ones who maybe take a hand off of one of
Yeah.
their zookeepers,
Unruly, unreformed alligators.
right to Alligator Alcatraz. When I think of Alligator Alcatraz, I don't know the plot. I don't know how it ends, but it's a movie made in 1975, and it stars Clint Eastwood.
It is a great movie, by the way.
Wait, that's a real movie?
Well, Alcatraz with
yeah.
Clint Eastwood.
We got the idea for that from your talk about Any Which Way But Loose.
Yeah.
Okay. When I think of Alligator Alcatraz, I think of a 1950s style doo-wop group composed entirely of ex-cons from Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Okay.
When I think of Alligator Alcatraz, I think of a 1970s wrestler. He's a heel who never turns, a very one-dimensional character, but a fan favorite because while not a babyface, he never fully aligns with the bad guys. He's an anti-hero. His finishing move is that he takes out a baby alligator and chases his opponent out of the ring.
Yeah.
Right? Alligator Alcatraz coming in the ring.
He's
teamed up
Jake
with-
the Snake.
He's teamed up with Jake the Snake and Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
This one's going to be controversial. I think of a sequel to The Rock, but this time, Brandon Routh, he played Superman a couple years ago, is partnered with Jennifer Lopez. She asks him to break her brother out of a Florida prison. She says he was falsely accused. But the twist is that he did in fact do it. The movie ends by Lopez and her brother being thrown into a lake filled with alligators. That's how it ends. Alligator Alcatraz, all in the news.
All right.
We got anything else?
I think that's it. It's hot.
You were great today.
So are you.
Hey.
Well done.